Tengal verified his crossbow. He didn't like to use it, but his duty of Inquisitor forced him to kill the enemies of the Great Temple. He heard that a little group of alchemists was hidden in an old castle, near the elves' pure state, and he brought his regiment to attack it. His crew, composed with 30 brave and determined soldiers, progressed in the thick forest around the fort. Suddenly, the column stopped. Something was wrong. The heavy door, which was supposed to protect the building, was open. Tengal stopped his men and went alone to the enclosure wall. He slowly inspected it. It was a strong wall, a complex superposition of heavy rocks. It made this castle easy to protect. So, why let the door open? The Great Temple soldiers had a look to the door, and he realized the entrance were not protected by the gate. The wood was rotten, the iron rusted. He made a sign to his soldiers. When the entire column was at the foot of the wall, Tengal entered in the fort with his crossbow, ready to shoot a deadly dart. After a few minutes, he saw a piece of copper and leather which composed the alchemist's armor. He immediately shot. Even if it just hit the arm, the violent poison which was covering the dart would kill the victim in a little time. The shooter was waiting the typical cry, made of pain and surprise, which announced the death. But when the arrow pierced the armor, no cry broke the silence. But slowly, a dried corpse fell on the side. The soldier, unbelieving, approached of the body. Even if he knew how dangerous could be the alchemists, he could not believe in that horrible view. The body was decomposed, the grey skin was crumpled and stick on the skeleton, that people were supposed to die in a long time ago, but the eyes were perfectly preserved. But the most incredible was the smell, a delicate perfume of roses. "Captain! Here!" The voice of Rengar, one of the oldest soldiers, diverted Tengal of his contemplation. He came in the room which was the origin of the cry, and see all the other alchemists. They were on the floor, disposed in a perfect circle, their heads directed towards the center. At this point, the leader of the castle, a great alchemist master, was squat, almost naked. He was covered of black blisters, which penetrated in his chest and stood out by his eyes as white roses. When Rengar approached him, the poor man had a thrill, and then he spoke in a painful warning. "You must go. They were here. They broke us. If we don't run, you will dance with us." After this, the alchemist quaked, wrenched his body of the bumpers and screamed. At this sound, all the corpses stood up and screamed in their turn, and slowly they turned their dead eyes at the Tengal troop. "Run!" said the captain. All the regiment ran to the door and tried to go to their horses, but they could not see them. They couldn't see anything. Even if the sun were high in the sky, a cold and dark haze was around the regiment. The only thing they could hear was noises of claws and footsteps. The young captain counted the men around him. They were 29. He lost someone. The troop made a defensive circle. Ertrion, the youngest man, was in the center. The others were ready to shoot with their crossbow. They looked at all the shadows, but the enemy didn't come. Captain, I feel bad." Tengal looked behind him and see the young man was crying. His face was distorted, his skin boiled, long bloody tears rolled on his cheeks. He cried when his eyes bursted in the bloody eye sockets Two beautiful white roses appeared, and a delicate smell of flower filled the air.